And hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. It is the most earth-breaking, ground-shaking, but never media show money taking, the man, the myth, the legend, the most electrifying YouTuber in all of YouTube entertainment today. And today I am talking about movies. Thank you for everybody who's been patient. I've been a little bit absent on some films. That's because I'm currently writing a book. I'm doing my revises now, so, bear with me. That will be coming soon. I will be talking more about that later, but I'm not here to talk about my awesome stuff. I'm actually here to talk about another fellow YouTuber, someone I have no clue about, never met the person, seen a couple of their things, a couple of their Let's Plays, got a lot of spunk, a lot of personality, and that is Mr. Markiplier and his brand new movie that came out, Iron Lung. Interesting story. His real name is Mark Fischbach?
Fischbach.
Fischbach? There we go. So this was directed, written, and starring Mr. Mark. And from here on in, I'm just going to call him Markiplier because that's easier for me to say. But Markiplier basically funded this movie, carried it to the finish line. And I want to highlight a couple of things about this before I get into my overall gist. First off, January has not been as shitty as normal Januaries. This has been a great year. And especially for the start of this year, I've seen a lot of great movies. I got my review up on Primate. I have a review on Bone Temple. Both great movies. I also saw We Bury the Dead, which I think is a very good sleeper zombie hit. And then I saw Return to Shitty Hill. So that was my one bad January movie. With that being said, there is a certain amount of respect, a certain amount of, I don't want to say leeway, but concession I can give for a movie like this that was clearly made by somebody passionate with a smaller budget, not working in the confines of the Hollywood system. And so there is a lot of things, especially with how it is very clear to see the love and the care that went into making this, and the acting that is required to do this, and the amount of time and patience this must have taken to make is astonishing within itself. So according to some things I read on the internet and things like that, this ran into troubles. Mr. Markiplier had to really do some shit to get this across to the finish line. And with that being said, the first half of this movie, I will say, about maybe the first half hour, I was a little bit nervous. I was not impressed. I'm just going to be real because I'm real on my channel. I was thinking, okay, this is one of those YouTuber movies. I was going to come on here and say how much I respect the effort. Personally, I think the acting didn't click for me right away. But then after that half an hour, where I feel like he was really settling into this role, and when the story started to pick up, and I may tell you, you probably could have cut a half hour out of this. I never played this game. I just went on and learned about the lore through various videos and stuff like that. So I had a basic understanding of what this movie was about going into it. But I think you could have honestly cut out a half hour, made this a nice tight hour and a half. With that being said, holy shit. There is a point in this movie, I'd say it was about towards the back end, maybe the last 45 minutes of this movie. It was interesting enough. I wasn't really looking at my watch, which is a compliment within itself. There's a point where this movie gets super intense. Things get surreal. Shit starts happening where I think the movie really hits its stride. So let me start about the boring shit first, and then I'm going to get into what I found really good. This budget, holy fucking shit, was only $3 million. So, Mr. Mark, I hope you made your money back because that is amazing. Like right off the bat, a $3 million budget. And so far, the box office is 3.5 million. So, honestly, I'm hoping that he made his money back so far. But it's a $3 million budget, and the cinematography is done by Philip Roy. The editing was done by Mark himself. And the music is done by Andre Hushlet, who did Dusk Quake Champions, and Doom Eternal. So there's a lot of different things going on. And I just have to say that the music, the score, and the sounds really carry this thing. But with all that being said, wow, $3 million budget, and the amount of great work with the camera, the things that I'm not going to do spoilers here, but some of the visuals, especially nearing the end of the movie, it really makes me astonish that a dude who put $3 million into it, and half of it probably went to Troy Baker. Yeah, I see you, Troy Baker. You're in every fucking game, okay, man? Jesus Christ. This man is working all the time. Okay, it's not about Troy Baker, but Troy Baker's in the movie too. Surprise, surprise. Anything having a video game adjacent, Troy Baker's probably in it. But anyways, the fact that he got Troy Baker and these other people, and the fact that the acting and the visuals are at the caliber that they're at for a $3 million movie, and the fucking Strangers cost $200 million, the first one $150 million, and Mark made a movie for $3 million, and it is better than those fucking shitty Stranger movies, already bumps this up for me. But beyond that, the cinematography and the sound design in this is absolutely amazing. And I take this a step further. I would really say you really want to go to the theater and experience the ambient sounds and the things coming from all sides of the speakers. Now, I have a special reviewer for this, the little dictator who begged me to take her to see this movie. The wife is at work. I'm going to have her come in a second because she's just dying to come in and give her opinion, but I want to get the boring stuff out of the way. So the cinematography is great. The sound design is great. And the sound design and the cinematography really hold this movie together, especially in the beginning. Hearing little sounds, hearing things that may not be there. This movie is shot essentially in one room, or it's a one-room movie. You are following this person in this one area of this ship named Simon, played by Markiplier. And then you have voices on the radio. You have Troy Baker, who plays David, and you have Ella Lamond, who is plays Elsie Lovelock. And that's pretty much it. The rest of the people in here, I don't know if there were other voices. There were a couple of extras and shit, but there's only 3 main voices you really hear, and then a third one. I'm not getting into spoilers, but that one is pretty much a thing that happens. It's hard to talk about without giving any spoilers away, but this leans very heavily into suspense and eldritch horror. So there is a lot of things going on, a lot of questioning what's real and what's not. But I want to swing back to Mark's acting. I must say, in the first half of this movie, and getting pushed back from my lovely young dictator and the wife, they thought it was fine. Honestly, I thought the acting was kind of not great at all. Felt like he was putting on a character. But as the movie got on, he really settles in to this rhythm. And I think that it's a thing with somebody who, like, look, here on YouTube, we're personalities. We put on characters. That's what we do. But it's different than trying to embody someone completely different. It's a different headspace. But I got to say, to Mark's credit, the 90% of this movie hinges on whether or not you are believing what he is putting forward. And I gotta say, at about the 30-minute mark of this movie, and this is a 2-hour movie, so it's not really a lot to get invested to. The 30-minute mark, I was buying what he was trying to sell here. And when you get to the ending, especially the last 25, 30 minutes, holy shit, man. That is where the acting is really important, and especially with what's going to happen and what he's trying to convey. And I think by this time, he really nails this character. Now, I don't know if this is any close to the game or not, but from what I've seen on videos and from what I've seen in lore drops and ending explains, he's pretty 1-for-1 with the game. And it's hard to do because this game is not like Resident Evil or Silent Hill. This is kind of walking simulator, picking shit up, like going to different coordinates, that kind of a game. So it's really hard to translate to the big screen. And I have to say, unlike Return to Silent Shit, which butchered the second Silent Hill game, don't worry, I'll have my angry review out on that fucking shitty movie. This made me feel like I was there in the game, or this feeling of anxiety that you would have in a fucking sea of blood looking for something that you don't know what you're looking for. So quickly, I'm going to bring in another expert reviewer here with me who also went to see this movie. So you guys will get to see the young dictator, and I'll ever just kind of give her thoughts before I give you my thoughts on my rating of the movie. So if you guys don't know, go ahead and get in the camera. Okay.
Hi.
Okay, so if you guys don't know, this is my daughter. She will be a little bit of a special guest star here because she was super excited. So let me ask you, what did you think of this movie?
10 out of 10, 100%.
Okay.
I was so excited, and it did not disappoint. Good job, Markiplier.
Okay, hopefully you'll probably never see this video.
Fun fact, by the way, in the first release of it in the theaters, it got 7 million in the first release of it in the theater, by the way.
Yeah, I'm talking about the box office that counts. This is not the first release, the global. It's different metrics. Anyways, so you liked it 10 out of 10.
Yep.
Now, this is what makes us subjective critics. What were your issues that you had? Any complaints or things that you thought they could have did better?
Honestly, I was kind of confused at the end, but there was
very good.
Because I'm not trying to like spoil anything, but something happens to him. I'm just going to say that. And it's just kind of confusing because I'm like, is this some kind of infection? Is it just hallucinations? Is like, what's going on?
Okay, so you're thinking maybe because this is based on a game, they could have explained that part a little bit better?
Yeah.
And is there anything else that you thought was...
Not really.
Okay, what was your favorite thing about the movie?
Probably seeing, if you guys know Iron Lung, if you've like seen anything or played the game, there's this creature and you don't get to see what it really looks like.
Okay, but remember, no spoilers.
Yeah, you don't really get to see what it looks like at the end, and I really like how he betrayed it. I'm not going to say what it looks like, but usually in the game, this is game spoilers, you get to only see the eye and a jump scare at the end. But I was like, how he betrayed it was awesome.
All right, and let me see. Okay, so we got that. We got what your favorite, what you like, what you dislike. And also, is there anything else you kind of want to throw in here? Anything about the movie overall, or
it was good? You should see it, definitely.
Okay, so go out and see it. Great. So you did. So you liked it. You give it a 10, and yes, you think people should go and see it.
And it also currently has the world record for most amount of blood in a movie, and it beats Evil Dead. So
I mean, that's still we're talking new Evil Dead. They're still don't bring Evil Dead into this. Anyways, no,
it's up there with Evil Dead in blood wise, because
he's got to do 4 sequels before he gets to that. We're talking about one movie he did. All right, okay, so good. So lots of blood. You liked it. Anything else you want to say to the people before I get into the boring parts of the review?
No, not really.
All right, well, everybody, that is the young dictator. She really liked it. She approves it. So, okay, say bye for everyone while I do the boring stuff.
All right.
Okay, so yes, this is the first time I brought my daughter into a review, but I think especially as a fan of Markiplier and things like that, it was good to have her perspective. Now, I'm going to give you guys my perspective as someone who knows Mark from his Let's Plays, and especially in particular his Five Nights at Freddy's. He's got a lot of charisma, a lot of just natural kind of showmanship that really gets you to want to see him play a game. But how does that translate to a movie? And I will say, he does carry it near the end of this film. Now, for me, I'm not going to give this movie a 10 out of 10. That's more of the kid review. It's what she expected to see. But I will say, if I'm talking from a strictly movie perspective, this movie is a slow burn. Do not go into this film expecting there's going to be a bunch of fucking action, balls to the wall, shit moving around. This isn't that kind of movie. This is a movie that really settles you into the tension and the environment of this submarine. You're trying to figure out what's going on. Now, as the little one said, I think one of the biggest issues people might have in particular is the end of this film. Now, I read a bunch of lore stuff. I kind of get what the gist of it is, but keeping that in mind, he could have had a different ending in mind, or maybe his interpretation is different because, once again, this is not the game. It's not. He's doing the game, but I feel like too he's tweaking some things because a game like this is hard to translate. Before his first project, I would say this is a very good movie. This was actually exceedingly better than I expected this movie to be. I had no clue that a 2-hour, $3 million budgeted movie made by a YouTuber was going to be this good. And honestly, I think Mark should do more films. I think if he does a second movie, he's going to really hit his stride. I think his acting is going to improve because I think he's got something. Like, when you act, you have to have it. You have to have the sauce. You have to have something that keeps you compelled. And I'm just going to say it. If you watch this movie for nothing else, the last fucking 30 minutes to 45 minutes of this film, my butt cheeks were firmly clenched so hard that I honestly thought they were going to get hurt. The end of this film has got to be the most intense feeling that I have had because of how this is shot and how they frame up everything. I honestly think this is truly awesome. I don't think this is a Rucka Rucka type of situation. This isn't like a Talk to Me where they blew up and this thing. I wouldn't even call it on the level of Bring Her Back or something like that. But this is a very solid start. I think that Mark should continue. I would love to see him do another movie. And I honestly think that if he self-funds this like he did this movie and just puts heart and passion into whatever he's making, he's going to make something truly fucking great. But for the time being, for this, the thing that kept on screaming in my head was a 7. But then I get to a point where I am locked into this movie. And I'm going to say this is an 8. Now, some people might call it high or whatever else. I'm going to say this is an 8, and it might even make my top 10 horror movies for this year. It'll be on the lower end because we have Send Help, you have Ready or Not 2, you have Scream 7, Terrifier 4. There's too much shit. There's Dracula that I just saw a preview for. There's a lot of stuff coming out, but this might make my top 10 movies definitely on the low end. I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. I think that Mark really poured his heart and soul into this. I respect a $300 million movie as opposed to a $250 million movie that's straight up fucking garbage trash. This movie builds tension. The acting is a slow burn, but I think it gets better as you go. And that fucking ending. I'll tell you something, guys. If you watch this movie for nothing else, the last 45 minutes of this movie, especially in the fucking theater with the sounds going off and there's different shit going down, and I'm not giving you spoilers, so no spoilers, but when the shit goes down, the ambient sound around in the theater really improved it. Hey, what's up? Nice to see you, Kay. Just doing a quick movie review for the new movie Iron Lung by Mr. Markiplier. So Yeah, I'm gonna be wrapping her up anyways. But yeah, I think this is a really good movie. 8 out of 10. I definitely would suggest seeing this in the theaters. It has limited showings. At least in my area, there were only 5 screenings of the movie from like 1 until like 7 o'clock was the last showing, and it was in like 2 or 3 theaters. And I really applaud Mark for being able to push this shit out, get the theaters, due to his fans like coming through. And I can't stress this enough. I am willing to give a pass on a lot of things in a movie for a movie that's made with clear passion and heart and by people who give a fuck. Mark wrote the script, he directed it, he stars in it, and one could think that would be narcissistic, but in this case, it's just wanting something to come out the way that you want to do it. I think he really wanted to hit the feel of this game. And I think about 30 minutes into this film, you really settle into a groove with this movie and a kind of tension. And literally, my mouth was open at the end when I start to kind of piece together what's going on in this movie. But you got to be patient. This isn't a movie that's going to like hit you in the balls right away with all this crazy shit, and you're gonna be like on the edge of your seat. Like, this is a slow burn by all fucking definitions. This is like a Hereditary kind of slow fucking burn. Like, you gotta wait for the payoff. But I'm telling you, hang with this movie a half an hour and definitely see it in the theater with the sound all around you. You feel like you're in the fucking sub of like blood, trying to figure out what they're looking for. And I like the fact that this movie is very ambiguous. I'm going to tell you right now that it's very ambiguous. There's definite resolutions. Like I said, this isn't spoiler, so I'm not going to fucking give away the movie. There's resolutions, but the things that happen and the way it's presented, and I think this is in the game as well, is very ambiguous. Very much you got to piece together what was real, what was not, but you can figure out a couple of things that did actually happen, especially the fucking last shot. I'm just going to tell you guys, the last shot of this movie and the last big reveal, my mouth was hanging open. Like, dude, $3 million. When you go watch this movie, keep this in mind. $3 million is all this movie that all they used. There wasn't even much fucking marketing. Mark did this shit himself. Like, I knew nothing about this going in. I saw a couple of trailers. I knew that the little dictator and my wife were fucking like harping me about this movie for like months, and then it didn't come out, and then they got distributors and they were riding my ass about seeing this movie. And I'll be honest with you, I'm glad that I saw this movie. Really, this kind of film and this filmmaking should be supported, and I would strongly urge, if there is a showing in your town, I would urge you to go and see it. It's worth a watch. And I definitely think this will be on my top 10 horror movies somewhere, maybe like 9 or 10, somewhere on the bottom. But I really feel like I'm going to put that in there because the last part of this movie really blew my mind. I have not sat there with my mouth open in the middle of a movie in quite some time. Like I said, maybe I'll do a spoiler when this has been out later, but something that happens, I was just like, and I look over, and I'm like, that was the look. I'm telling you.
It's true.
So definitely,
confirm.
and so definitely check it out because there was Silent Hill, Return to Silent Hill, which fucking missed the point of the second game. And then there's something like this with a man he actually made this game famous. Funny story. Like, he was the one who promoted the shit out of this game because I didn't even fucking know the game until I looked it up. And there is something so passionate about someone who gets the fucking material and makes the movie an actual gamer that plays the game. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. You're going to be a little bit lost. There is, if you pay attention enough for you to put together what's going on in the movie. And I think the ending you might land on cool or not cool, whatever, but I respect somebody who respects the material they're adapting and puts their heart and soul in it. And when you watch this movie, you can clearly see there was love and there was a certain amount of care and there was a giving a shit about what they're adapting. That really makes me love this movie even more because I feel the passion. And I tell people this all the time when I watch a movie. Sinners, I felt the fucking passion. Weapons, you feel the passion. 28 years later, The Bone Temple, you feel the love and the passion and the camera angle, the sound and the fucking acting and everything's hitting. And with this, I feel the passion that was put into this movie. And what the fuck do we go to the movies for if not to have a good time and to feel something when you go and see a movie? So with that being said, I know this is kind of long for being a non-spoiler, but I think a lot of what I've mentioned really goes into what makes this movie so unique and kind of special. And I would say go support this movie. Seriously, support people who make movies that give a fuck about making a movie. Like, this is the stuff we need to get people in the theaters, to get people fucking excited. Even if you don't like the movie, right? It gets people talking. Not this fucking $200 million, $150 million garbage fucking nonsense that Hollywood's been putting out for years. And they call us fucking whatever because we don't like this disgusting bullshit that they put out. That the people don't give a fuck. They don't care about entertaining us. They just like put it out and fucking consume, you fucking paid monkeys. That's what I felt like, especially in 2025. Half of the fucking garbage in that year. Oh my goodness. What a terrible year. 2026, I saw Primate. I saw 28 years later. I saw We Buried the Dead. Now Iron Lung. Send Help I'm going to see next week. Like, we're back to it, folks. We got Wonder Man, which I got to do a review on. Holy fucking shit. Just shit is going good. We're eating great in 2026. So please definitely check out this movie and let me know in the comments below, have you seen Iron Lung? What do you think of the film? Or what's your favorite claustrophobic, one-shot kind of horror movie? I'm very interested because before this, I really liked The Descent. Thought that was very good, claustrophobic, not a lot of monsters. It's more about the space and, the stuff going on and people betraying each other. So let me know because this is really a one-man show. So tell me what claustrophobic movies you like. Mine is the Descent would have to be my second favorite kind of like horror movie like this. There's not a lot of one space movies like this that I really get into. So check this movie out. 8 out of 10. Thank you very much for watching. And as always, remember, there is only one rule here in the fandom zone. Kneel before General Zod.